Good morning, Saturday Singles family. I am so happy that you guys decided to join me once again for another episode of our Saturday Singles Talk, where real people talk real life situations. And we are continuing our journey on becoming whole, we're healing, we're becoming our best selves, living our best lives. So thank you so much, Saturday Singles family, for taking the time out of your busy day just to spend a little bit of time with me today. So on today, let's talk about something called winning at relationships. How do you feel that you're doing at winning at relationships? And I'm not necessarily talking about just romantic relationships. I'm also talking about your platonic relationships, your family relationships, relationships that you have with your friends, your coworkers, your significant others. How do you think you're doing at winning at those relationships? When we are building things, we have to build them on a foundation. That also goes for when we're building relationships and we are getting to know people and getting to know one another. The scripture says in Matthew 7:24 that he will liken a man that builds his house upon a rock as a wise man. Are you building your relationships on a rock? Or are they kind of on sand and they just kind of come and go and they're just kind of iffy and they're not really stable and, you know, they blow in, they blow out. You attract things that are not necessarily healthy for you or necessarily positive or helping you achieve the things that you need to achieve or achieve your assignments. What would you say? Are you winning at building relationships? Remember, what we put off is also what we draw in. Birds of a feather do flock together. So what is it that you're throwing off? What is it that you are showing others? What is it that you're demonstrating when you are building relationships? What is your focus? Are you focusing on surface things or are you focusing on things that matter, the substance? Are you focusing on things that are insignificant and trivial? Or are you focusing on things that are long-term, long-lasting, things that can make a difference and actually impact you in a positive way? What is it that you are really doing? What is it that you're trying to reach? What's the goal when you're building your relationships and you're winning at relationships and when you're bringing people into your circle and you are wanting to be a companion to someone as well as have someone to be your companion? What is it that you are showing? What is it that you're putting off? For example, if you act cheat, guess what? Cheat will find you. If you act lonely, you're gonna draw all the losers. If you're acting desperate, you're acting hopeless, you're acting like you just can't survive, look around. Have you noticed that you're also drawing in those types of relationships where people are desperate and they aren't sure about themselves or they're manipulative or they're just wayward in everything. They're unstable and just a double-minded person in everything that they do. Are you noticing what you're drawing and attracting? Are you drawing and attracting those mature people who have a goal, those mature people who have a sense of not being helpless and not being hypocritical, those that are mature and want to actually grow their souls and grow their substance and actually become and do what they set their minds out to do? What are you attracting? What are you winning at? Are you winning at the relationships that are put before you? Or are you just kind of being passive and just accepting whatever comes your way? This is a time to do some self-examination and some time to just kind of look at who am I and what am I drawing? What am I attracting? Is it because this is what I'm putting off? Is it because I live in this instant gratification microwave society who says that I want everything now. It's not a process. I just want what I want no matter what. That's not a good way to be. To grow true substance and good relationships is a process, and it takes time. We have to go through the steps of building that strong foundation. Communication, love, understanding, all of those things are components and attributes that you should look for in not only yourself, but in others that you allow to come into your circle. If people are not bringing positivity to you and they're not being an asset to you, then maybe they shouldn't be around you and maybe they shouldn't be with you. The same thing about you though. If you're not benefiting someone's life and you're not being a positive asset to them, what's your purpose and why are you there? Take a self-examination look and just ask yourself, am I winning at relationships? Am I winning at being a confidant to someone? Am I winning at being that companion to someone? Am I someone that can say, I know that this person can trust me? Is that what you're putting off? Is that what you're illustrating? I say that the same people who are candy to our eyes can be poison to our hearts. I want you to think about that a little bit. Sometimes we're drawn to a picture or a representation, and it tickles our fancy, it tickles our eyes, we like what we see. But then once we peel back that wrapper, it's determined that actually it's poison. It's not good for us. It's something that we shouldn't be involved with, whether it's a romantic relationship or whether it's a friendship. So I think that sometimes we need to take a little bit more time and study the ingredients of a person. Study really, what are they made of? What are they bringing to the table? Not only what are they bringing to the table, but what am I bringing to the table? And sometimes we just have to walk away. It's okay. It's all part of the journey, and it's all part of learning and growing and becoming our best selves. Not saying that everyone is bad, not saying that every situation is a negative situation. I just think, though, that we need to take more time to discover and build good, strong relationships, those relationships that are going to be lasting, those relationships that are going to be consistent. I mean, even Jesus himself, he had his inner circle of 12, but even in those 12, he had his more inner circle of 3. And he spent more time with those 3 than he did with anyone. There were people around him all the time. But when it finally came down to it, he had his core group where he knew he could depend on and they could depend on him. That's all I'm saying is, as we're developing relationships and friendships, reach out to others, make yourself available, but also study the ingredients of the relationship. What is the purpose of that relationship? What's the intent? How should it be nurtured? How should it be matured? Because again, some friendships and relationships are only for seasons, and that's okay too. But as that season progresses, we should also be progressing, and we should also be learning and growing. To win at relationships, we need to look for wisdom. Look for mature individuals who are going to be in our corner. Look for people who are not missions and projects. A lot of times we go out building relationships, especially romantic relationships, based on a project. We adopt projects. You can't change a person. You can't make a person. But you should be trying to help be an asset and develop the person to be their best selves. But you cannot take on projects and take on things that you feel like is your mission in life to make this person different or change them to who you want to be. That's not our purpose, and that's not why God made us. So I'm saying that as you are looking to develop relationships with people and growing in relationships with your friends and your families, you know, there should be structure, there should be maturity, there should be someone who recognizes not just fantasies and social media perceptions, but living in reality. What is the reality of my life? What is the reality of who I am? What is the reality of who you are? And be able to accept those real things and actually accept who we are right now, not living in fantasy land. You should be looking for people who are builders, not people who are bosses. Building up one another, not tearing down one another. Not someone who wants to control every situation or always have to be in control in order for the relationship to work. These are some of the things that we should be doing to win at relationships. It's not a one-way street. It's bi-directional. We give, we take, we offer, we receive. These are the things that we should be doing as we're developing strong relationships built on strong foundations and strong rocks. So remember, love is a decision. It is a choice that we have to make every single day. Yes, God does command us to love one another, but we have to decide if we're going to abide by His will, and He allows us to be free will beings. So we have to make the choice and the decision to love, and we should love. So remember, God unconditionally loved me. And that allows me to then love myself. And because I can love myself, I now have the capability of loving each and every one of you. See you right back here next time on the next episode of Saturday Singles.